Yeah, it's Shades of Naya.
Hey there, it's Shades of Naya.
Hi guys, it's beautiful Naya here. Welcome back to another episode of Shades of Naya. If this is your first time of tuning in, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, you are always welcome. Okay? So today I'm going to be talking about money. Yes, money. I'm going to be discussing or sharing some habits that are keeping you poor, or rather keeping you broke. I'm going to be telling you basically what the rich people won't tell you. So let's go, guys. I recently watched a YouTube video. Robert Kiyasoki said, I know the game of the rich because my rich dad taught me. In fact, what the rich people teach their kids about money, the poor and middle class do not. I had to take a pause and play that again. In fact, I think the school teaches us nothing, absolutely nothing about money, because what did the school teach me about money? Nothing. Noting, nothing. If you're gonna be successful in life, you've got to get the best teachers, people who are actually practicing what they teach. A good teacher comes, or a great teacher comes from the inside and not from the outside. We have a lot of fake teachers in school, people who teach what they do not believe in, who have not even practiced or applied for one day what they keep teaching, because we have a lot of things we learned in school, further mathematics and all. Until today, I was 20 something years later, I have not applied any of them to my life generally. And we have a lot of people 20 years later, 55 years later, 75 years later, 100 years later, these things are not applicable in real life. You need to recognize your bad money habits and break free from them. One of the poor people's habits is paying yourself last. Paying yourself last. I've mentioned this in a couple of videos I've put out there, and this is because it is one of the blueprints to obtaining financial freedom. This is basically poor people's habit, because as soon as the paycheck comes in or the salary comes in, they pay their light bills, their water bills, TV subscription, data purchase, and save what is left after spending, if at all there is any. And this is exactly the opposite of rich people's habits, because they pay themselves first before they spend. Because why make other people richer by buying their stuff first when you've not paid yourself? Because eventually you have nothing to save or nothing left to save. That is why you have to discipline yourself, develop the habit of paying yourself first. I'm not saying we don't have, like, we work to pay our bills, I'm not saying we don't have expenses to take care of, but make conscious effort to make sure you're saving 20%, 10%, 30%, as much as you can, continuously, judiciously, for yourself before you start spending. Because by the time you've actually done this, your mind will begin to think of ways to make more income. Always take a certain percentage and put away. Someone said, always put yourself in that broke state. Always put yourself in that broke mindset. What do I mean? For instance, they pay you 200k and put 100k aside for savings. I'm not saying you should save 50%, though it may be too much for some people, but then you put 100k aside, maybe to an account you cannot access or something, for your savings, for instance. Now you have 100k to deal with for the month. If, for instance, you pay your bills and you're left with just 20k, and maybe the 20k will not be enough for you, your brain will be forced to think of possible ways to make more money. Like I'm going to say, an hungry man would always look for ways to feed himself. So that is when your brain begins to think, oh, what do I do? That's when people start saying, oh, this money is never enough for me, my income is never enough for me, I need to look of several other possible ways to make more money, several other possible ways to make more cash, maybe legit ways, or please, not illegal ways. Do you get? But then your mind begins to think, and trust me, your mind can think wild and prefer solutions and think a lot. But when you keep yourself in that abundant state, oh, I have enough, this one will be able to take care of me, you will never be able to think out of the box. You'll never be able to stress this brain that God has given to us. You'll never be able to think extraordinary. Yeah. So pay yourself first and manage what is left. And if what is left is not enough, think of possible ways to multiply your income. Think of possible ways to generate more sources of income for yourself. Because if your expenses is not going to one place, why get income from just one place? It doesn't make sense to me. Do you get? Another poor people's habit that is keeping you either broke or rather poor is not knowing your income or expense. Like I said, as your income increases, your expense increases. It's called lifestyle inflation generally, because the things you want to get, becomes like it grows. Your taste changes, everything changes. I've mentioned this earlier as well. A lot of people are always scared to go through their account statement. Like, they are scared, they don't want to see how they've been irresponsible with their funds, or how they've been irresponsible with their income. But the thing is that to break free, you need to have a budget tracker. You need to check all these things. Your budget needs to be, you have to budget daily. As important as it is to budget daily, you have to budget weekly, monthly. That is how you can track your expense. Set a particular amount of money aside that, okay, I want to use this for this. Please ignore the dog noise in the background, I'm sorry. But then you need to always know your income and your expense, how you spend and how you get this income. Okay, someone gave an example in a seminar I went for, and the person said, if for instance your salary is 200k and then you get a better job and you're being paid 1 million naira per month, it is not the time for you to start saying, okay, I need to change my apartment, I need to do this, that. It would advise that stay in that your house, your mini apartment where you've been staying with, so managing with your 200k salary. Stay there for extra 6 months to 12 months, so that at that time, by the time you have stayed there for extra 6 months to 12 months, you've been able to save. If you can maintain that your lifestyle of 200k for 6 to 12 months, trust me, you'll be able to save a bulk of your income for the 1 year period, or for the 12 months period, or 6 months period you get. And when you're able to save a bulk of it, and hey, now you can start thinking of ways to invest that fund you've saved. So basically, if you adopt that plan, you can now think of your next move after 12 months of good savings. Do you get? I don't know why I keep saying do you get. I really want you to get it. Another poor people's habit is focusing solely on savings or waiting too long to invest. You need to learn how to save a larger portion of your income and then invest. Waiting too long to invest could also be dangerous. That's why I said another poor people's habit is waiting too long to invest or depending solely on savings. I would say don't leave additional money than you need in your bank account. Save in such a way that the money in your account can provide for your basic needs for the next 3 to 6 months, while you invest or reinvest the remaining. But the tricky thing is that you have money to invest when you've actually practiced savings, and that is why savings is not totally ruled out. You have to save first, save a larger bulk of it for those of you that can do it, and then invest this money to multiply. Because some of you be like, oh, I don't want to touch my savings because I don't want to go broke. But the more you're keeping it there, it is not increasing, it is not multiplying. They pay you, you save a particular portion, so you're growing additionally. But by the time you invest it, you start growing geometrically, you start multiplying and not addition. Do you get again? Yeah, there is always going to be reasons why you can't invest. Probably because you don't have time, you don't have enough money, or you don't know where to start from. But the longer you put off investing, the much harder you would have to work to gain that same financial freedom as someone who started earlier, who started investing earlier. So it is always advisable that after saving, make sure you're investing this money and reinvesting. Your money should work for you. Your money should bring in more money. I have saved this money, I want this money to multiply. That money multiplies. You use that money, it has reduced, reinvest it into your business or whatever investments you would want to reinvest it into. And just make sure you don't leave more than you need in your bank account, and that at every point in time your money is doing something for you. Your money is trying to multiply or generating more funds for you and me, for you as a person. So back to what the rich don't tell you. Another habit that is keeping you poor or keeping you broke is your money mindset. Absolutely your money mindset. Remember Robert Kiyasoki in his book Rich Dad Poor Dad? He asked his rich dad to teach him about money, and he agreed. The rich dad said, if I teach you about money, you would have to work with me for free. He got angry. I was like, why would I want to work for you for free? And the rich dad said, if I pay you, you begin to think like an employee, and that struck. If I pay you, you begin to think like an employee. Your mind would change, because basically what do employees do? They just want to please their bosses or get their bosses' approval. But when you work for me for free, when you work without being paid. When you work not for money, you would want to learn everything. You would want to become the boss. And that is why he also said, if you learn not to work for money, you'll be rich, or you eventually become rich. Like, give a man a fish. There's this saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but teach him how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Give a man money, you feed his fund his monthly expenses and all, but teach him how to make this money. You're going to be feeding him for a lifetime. Simple. Another poor people's habit is buying themselves liability. I'm going to use a very good example for this. Let me take for example a house. A house is a noun, right? Yes. And a noun is actually a liability, like house, car, etc. And then an asset is more like a verb. Let me say cash flow. Yeah. But what makes this cash flow an asset or a liability depends on you. So if the cash is flowing out of your pocket, is a liability, but if the cash is flowing into your pocket, is an asset. Let me give an example. You have a house, you need to pay bills, you need to spend money to maintain the house. Those are liabilities. Do you get? But when you have a property, a rental property, for instance, you have several rental properties and they're giving you inflows, those assets, those properties, those houses, those homes, they become an asset to you. People are always saying, oh, I want to build my house. I'm not against building your house, but people are always saying, I want to get my own personal house and all. But I feel if you don't have enough assets yet to take care of your liabilities, then there's no point in incurring more liabilities for yourself or incurring any further liability for yourself. I'd rather you take your money, invest in real estate, buy several homes, buy several houses, buy several things, so long as those things produce money for you, so long as those things generate income for you, so long as there's cash flowing into your pocket, then it is going to be accepted as an asset. But when you have a big house that is not yielding money for you, all you do is to maintain the house, pay the maids. Like, a lot of people have houses everywhere. They have homes in Abuja, they have houses in Lagos, they have houses in US, in the UK, several places, and they don't stay there. Nobody stays there. They just have these properties. It's fine. It is actually fine when you have assets that can cater for all of these your incurred liabilities. But if you don't have assets big enough to cover up, why have big houses that is just taking money out of your pocket? What's the point? What's the need? You just have big houses and then you eventually go broke, because most people with big houses, trust me, some of them are broke. Some people use their last dime to build house and then start managing with the small money they have, but that is not life. Because I know a lot of people that never owned a property. I've listened to so many people, so many big guys. I listen to rich people talk a lot. They will tell you they never owned a personal property. What they did was to rent from landlord and then put it out on rentals and all, and started generating incomes for themselves, and that is it. Some people don't even own a car, but they have several cars in both. The car is an asset to them because it is generating revenue for them. But then some people don't have assets bringing revenues for them, or don't have things bringing cash inflow for them. All they have is just a fixed property, and then they keep spending and spending on that property. That is poor people's mindset. That is poor person incurring liabilities for themselves. Liability upon liability. Don't quote me wrong. I'm not against having your own home. I'm not against having your personal home. In fact, it's a beautiful thing, but I'll say own an asset home first before you own an actual home. Or probably not an asset home if you're not into real estate. You can just own something that is giving you more than enough cash inflow before you own a personal home. You get? Don't struggle to save from your income, from your salary or something, and then build that house, and then 60 years later you don't have any other thing. When you're 60 years, 65 years, you resign, you don't have anything, any property like thing generating income from you. Nah, that is not smart. That is not what a smart money woman would do. That is not what a smart money man would do. That is not what Robert Kiyasoki would do. Another thing I'm going to be talking about is the taxes part. I might not be the best person to say this, but I just have like a few things to chip in, something I read. Yeah. Like, people really know, rich people really know how to manipulate the taxes to be in their favor. But in this part of the world where we're from, Nigeria, I know a lot of people default on their taxes, but in countries where they have a working system, tax is usually a big deal for people because tax takes more like a bulk of their income. The normal middleman, the normal middle class man, the normal poor man will be like, they pay a lot of tax. Tax the rich people, they say, but these rich people know how to make their money and avoid taxes. I'm not saying illegally, but legally. Let's take for instance, MC Donald sells burger but buys real estate business. He pays little or nothing for those properties acquired. And I read one time that his net worth on real estate was about $16 billion. Did he pay huge tax for those acquired properties? I guess not. And that is how you can evade tax. But when you have active income, and that is why it is actually very necessary for you to have passive income, because you just stay and money keeps flowing, your money is working for you. But when you have active income, you're working in this company, obviously you'll be taxed because the company needs to pay tax to the government. So just try to look for ways to evade tax in your favor, in a better way. There's so many other ways to make tax work in your favor. Like I said, I'm not the best person to share this, but yeah, I'm about to end this video. I just think it is important that I add these few things because personally I think poverty is an attitude. Never say I can't afford it. Never say I can't afford it. Always ask yourself, how can I afford it? And that is when you break free, because that is when your brain begins to think. When you ask yourself, how can I, question mark, your brain, you put your brain to work and it begins to think for you. And before you know it, there are always solutions, there are possible ways, good solutions, good thoughts, good ideas to start coming up. See, I always tell myself, if they can do it, I can. And I think you should always tell yourself that if this person can do it, I can. To never ever be afraid to make mistakes. Rich people make mistakes, trust me. Rich people make a lot of mistakes, but the thing is, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your up and down, you become better, you become more intelligent through mistakes, you grow through your mistakes. You have to take risks, learn from them. Most people are afraid of making mistakes and their fear of failing limits them. See, I'm just going to give a general advice, just the way Robert Kiyasoki met his rich dad. The rich dad is not his biological dad. His dad, he asked his biological dad to teach him about money, but the dad referred him to somebody rich, somebody wealthy. And I would say that you should learn from the rich. Always learn from the rich. Always try to be in the midst of them, because most times you see that their mindset is totally different from the mediocre. Like, their mindset is totally different from every other normal person. Be amongst them. You have a lot to learn. You learn from their lifestyle, you learn from their spending habits, whether it's even how they position to eat or how they eat or something. You just have something positive to learn from them. Try as much as you can to stay amongst them, to be around them, not to be around them to take advantage, no, but to learn for your own self, for your own kids, you get to become a better person. So guys, I'm going to be ending this video here. If you know this video was insightful, if you know you learned one or two things from my video, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, drop your comments in the comment section. If you have any idea of any video you want me to do next, please do not forget to drop it down in the comment section. I know a lot of you have been saying that, they have not reviewed the Skin by Zaron products I got earlier on. I actually wanted to wait for 6 months so that I can give a better review, and it's almost 6 months, so very soon I'm going to be making that review video for you guys. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for always tuning into my channel. Okay, bye guys.